Păi trăi din ceai. Apă, zahăr. Apă, zahăr și următul persurat. прошло, чтобы не душно. Конкретно прошествие мяса.
Hello, students. My name is. If you don't mind, I'm gonna give you a lecture sitting down here. Okay. I don't know much about you, but I think you already know me. You do. Maybe you already know what I did for the last semester. I gave you a lecture on the what was it? Global ICT policy. I just gave you just an overview. How do you take a look at the global trend or global policies in terms of ICT development. But now, today, I would like to give you a brief idea about how Korea developed ICT industry in Korea. Korea was a poor country, and when I was a child, I'm giving you a kind of a storytelling, so you don't have to write down, memorize or whatever. Korea, you all know, maybe how many of you are using a Korean smartphone here? Samsung. Yeah, everybody knows about it. Nowadays, Korea ICT industry is very powerful, very competitive, and Samsung is selling number one selling smartphone companies, and beside that, TV set. Korean companies are selling TV set number one in the world, and refrigerator, and display, and many product. Electronic product, Korean companies are selling very well. But back in 1950s, 60s, Korea was very poor country. When I was growing up, when I went to elementary school, the per capita income, the average income of Korean was only $70 in the world. One of the poorest country in the world. Now Korea is already an advanced country. So Korea made a kind of history. Korea is the unique country who became the advanced country from the very poor country, from the $70 per capita income a year to the now our per capita income is around $30,000 in a year. So what I'd like to do today to share this kind of experience with you students. So I'm focusing at the ICT industry because my specialty is ICT industry. ICT industry is a leading economic sector, leading the Korean economy. And ICT industry is one of the most competitive industries in Korea. Okay, let me show the topic. The theme today is the Korea ICT industry and development timeline and policies. Okay. I'd like to talk about what it did in 1940s, 1950s. We were at the infancy of industry. I understand you got the independence from the Soviet Union 1991. Is correct? Yeah, we got the independence from the Japan 1945. Okay. Japan ruled Korean territory for 36 years. After World War II, the Japan was defeated by U.S. Japan fought with the United States, and Japan lost the World War II, and so automatically we got independence from the Japan. That was 1945. Okay, and after the 1945, we got the independence. We had a very fierce Korean civil war between North and South. How many of you know that the fact our country is divided in two? You all know that, like you have two countries in one territory. Moldova and what Serbia, Transnistria. It's very hard to pronounce it, but like you are divided into two parts. Korean Peninsula is divided between south and north. We fought very fierce for 3 years, from 1950s to 1953. So almost 2 million people were died during the war, and to speak about industry, the industry was totally devastated. Almost all infrastructure was just destroyed. So the war devastated the domestic industry and domestic economy of Korea. Okay, this unfortunately this is in Korea, but this graph shows you the fighting. I mean, the war between North and South Korea, and this picture gives you some idea how Korea was devastated. Everything was destructive. Okay, what you see is the 60 years ago Seoul. Okay, Seoul is now one of the most modern city in the world, but this was the Seoul in 1950s. Okay, everything, and as you see, there was small kids and brothers and sisters, and they're trying to find something to something to eat, almost like some part of poverty in Africa or whatever. Okay, so everything was. There was literally there was nothing in Korea. So after the Korean War, we tried very hard to rehabilitate our industry. So 1950s, the first struggle was to promote a electronic industry. So the first product we developed was the radio. Okay, so nowadays radio is everywhere, but in 1950s the radio was also a rare, it's very expensive one. So Lucky Gold Star, you know, how many of you know about the LG? LG, you know about LG. LG is also a very well-known global company. LG was the company who developed the first radio system in Korea. That was 1959. Okay. And soon there emerged a conglomerate like Samsung, LG, Hyundai. You know the Hyundai?
Yes.
By the car, they produced car. Those Samsung, LG, Hyundai, they established in 1950s, okay, after the World War II and after the Korean Civil War. And the focus was at the electric and telecommunication infrastructure. When we tried to revive our industry, we thought that infrastructure was very important. So we tried to build up a infrastructure first. So electric, that means electric power, and telecommunication network. Those two essential, inevitable network was focused at. So Korean government put a lot of money and resources, people to develop electronic power and telecommunication network. Telecommunication at that time was nothing but a telephone. There was no internet or whatever. So just we tried to expand telephone network in 1950s and 60s. Okay, this was the first radio manufactured by Gold Star. Gold Star is the old name of LG. Huh? Okay. And what is this? Is a telephone, telephone set. You don't use this kind of telephone set anymore. You all know smartphone nowadays. Yeah. But, we used this kind of telephone set in 1960s, 70s, 80s. Okay, the ugly one, ugly black one, but that was the first telephone which was developed, manufactured by Gold Star in 1961. Okay, that was the level of technology, the level of engineering in 1960s in Korea. Now it is very simple technology, but back in 1950s, 60s, that was the very, that was kind of high-tech area to develop. Yeah, that time this kind of technology, one of the most advanced technology. Okay, this is first black and white TV, and that was also manufactured by Gold Star. So, Gold Star was the first company who developed electronic industry in Korea prior to Samsung. That time Samsung didn't understand about the electronic industry and semiconductor, whatever. Lucky Gold Star was the first company who understands the importance of the electronics. So they developed a lot radio, TV, and telephone set. Okay. In 1960s, there was a big political event where the Park Chung-hee, the famous president, very strong, very strong president.
That's your relative?
One of my family, but no relationship. We have three big family in Korea. The largest one is Kim,
Kim.
Lee. Park is the third. So in Korea, there are millions of parks in Korea.
Dynasty Kim, Dynasty Lee, yes?
Kim, yeah.
Dynasty.
Dynasty.
A very big family, sir.
Yeah, Lee Dynasty. Lee Dynasty. The former kingdom was called Lee Dynasty. Yeah. And Kim Lee is one of the both are largest family in Korea. Underneath them, second ranking is Park.
In Moldova, you have the same. Family Rusu is the most.
Rus?
Yes. Cea mai populară familie în România, Republica Moldova este Rusu. Nu, e Rusu.
Okay. You know, the radio, telephone set, TV, in those areas, 1950s, 1960s, we thought it was a high tech, but it was a simple. Now we know, you all understand that was the kind of simple technology, product technology. But once President Park Chung-hee took power in Korea, his focus was electronics industry. Okay, and the very important one is he exercised an economic development plan. So what he did, he launched a first 5-year economic development plan in 1961, and second economic plan, third 5-year, fourth 5-year. That way, President Park Chung-hee, he did a consecutive economic 5-year plans. Okay. Through the economic 5-year plans, one of his focus was electronic industry. Okay, so the Korean government began to actively promote the electronics and IT industries, and the fourth target of President Park Chung-hee was electric power and telephone network. Okay, so President Park Chung-hee thought that the electric power and telecommunication network was one of the most important, inevitable infrastructure for the national modernization. Okay, this is the postage stamp. Okay, issued by Korean Postal Services, Korean government. What it says is that this is electronic power system. Okay, okay. This stamp is to commemorate the electronic power system build-up in 1960s. And this one, the right-hand side, this picture is a telecommunication network. Okay, so President Park, as such, President Park Chung-hee and Korean government focuses on the infrastructure of the electronic power and the telecommunication network. Okay. Korean government has in those times, in 1960s, Korean government had a national modernization policy, high level national strategy. the contents of those modernization policy was firstly the construction of the infrastructure industry, and secondly promotion of exports, thirdly the renovation of state-managed business. Those three policies was the essence of the high-level strategy to modernize Korean economy. For the first one is construction of the infrastructure industry. I told you already, in electronic sector, Korean government put much effort on developing electronic power and telecommunication network. And there was another infrastructure sector, which was the transportation and industry complex and hydronic water resource reservoir, was those kind of infrastructure. Those infrastructure was prepared by Park Jong-hee. He put much effort and put much money and people to build an infrastructure for Korean economy. And the second one was the export strategy. Okay. Now Korea is a very small one. You know, the South Korea. How many of you know how many people are in South Korea?
20 million?
20 million, more than that. We have around 50 million people. But in those days, we had around 35 million people. Small country, bigger than yours. You have
10 times bigger.
20 times. No. But in those days, Korean population was around 30 million people. 30 million people is not very large one. It's a rather small economy. Okay, so what it did, we tried to very hard to expand our market to abroad, export. Okay, export strategy. Okay, so President Park Jong-hee, he drive the export strategic policy himself. Okay, so now the Korean economy is based on the export around 70 or 80%. Okay, our economy, 70 or 80% of our economy is based on export. Okay, so Korean economy is very globalized. The small country, you have to export. Domestic market is too small. Okay, so Samsung is a global company, Hyundai is a global company, LG is a global company. The well-known prominent Korean companies are all global companies. They are exporting the goods they develop to global market. The export strategy has been very important for the Korea to develop our own economy. And the third one was renovation of state-managed businesses. It is called privatization. Back in 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, the telecommunication business was being conducted by government. How about in Moldova? Moldova is now privatized? No?
Yes.
But in Korea, the telecommunication company is completely privatized, 100% private company.
We have one
State company.
State-owned and 2, 3
The biggest one is the state.
state-owned.
Biggest one state. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the Korea Power Company, Korea Electric Power Company was part of division of government, but now it is private company. Okay. So Korean government tried to privatize. As many as possible to revive our economy. So privatization has been very important strategy for Korean government to develop our economy. Okay, because private sector always, not always, but maybe in most cases, private sector is more efficient than the public sector. So President Park Geun-hye, our government tried to privatize as many as possible, which was owned by government, state. Okay, so those were the three essential elements for the nation modernization policy for Korea. Okay. So in parallel, I told you, in electronic field, the electric power and telecommunication infrastructure was built up by strongly and by Korean government with a strong volition of the Korean government. Okay, this is a little bit high level, not just the ICT industry, it's a high level, but the first 5-year economic development plan was launched in 1962, and after that, second 5-year economic development plan, after that, third 5-year economic development, and fourth, fifth, sixth, we did kind of a rolling plan every other 5 years. Okay, that shows a strong will or volition by the Korean government and the President Park Geun-hye himself. Okay, and Korean government allowed an unlimited inflow of foreign capital to promote the electronics industry. If you want to develop electronics industry, Korean government supporting you as many money as possible. So you can import FDI, you mean, foreign direct investment, and whatever you can import as much money as possible. Okay, that is allowed by government. And in parallel, the very important institution like Academy of Science in Moldova, we established the Korea Institute for Science Technology, KIST. KIST was, this institution was the center of the Korean research and development. Okay. Proudly speaking, I was a member of this research institute, and this research institute produces a lot of researcher, high-level and qualified researcher for many sectors like electronics, semiconductor, and shipbuilding, and automobile or whatever. And KIST was the center of the research institute. And soon after, there was a very important research institute in electronic sector, which was called ETRI, Electronic Telecommunication Research Institute. Okay, this this research institute was the part of KIST, and later this institute got independence from the KIST. And once it became an independent institute, what they did was to develop our own electronic switching system, our own telephone network technology, and our own semiconductor. So those technologies were all developed within this, this research institute. So actually has been core research institute in Korea to develop a core technology which is leading Korea: semiconductor, telecommunication network. You know the CDMA? You also know the CDMA has been second generation. Mobile network technology that was first developed in Korea, in the world, by this within this research institute. Okay, as such, the entry played a very important role to develop the Korean economy. And there was industry as well. As I told you, LG Electronics was introduced Korea's first black and white television and telephone set, radio, and simple product for the electronics. That was the 1960s. Okay, 1970s, we go into 1970s. Export grew very fast, and at the high level strategic planning, national economic planning, the Korean National Assembly passed the Act for Promotion of Industry Complex Development. Okay, so within this a complex industry complex, this is something like a free trade zone. So we invited many foreign companies to come to Korea and manufacture there, and we offer them exemption of tax, trade tax, and whatever. We gave them many incentives for them to come into Korea to do business in Korea. Okay, those areas were Gumi Industrial Complex. Gumi was very famous for the semiconductor, and Masan Free Export Zone for the electronic export. So those free export zone played very important role to develop, promote at our technology level. Okay, so quite many number of foreign company came into this complex area, industry complex area, or free export zone, and they do business within Korea, and in response, we experience with trade and technology and business. Okay, so that is a very important policy for Korean to promote our export. Okay. So, and we had another very important policy, which was Korea Electronic Export Association. That was a single export channel for electronic products and electronic goods. So this Korea Electronic Export Association exercised a great effort to promote export. of electronic products. So electronic export, it started in 1962. It started with $50,000 a year, and it reached US $1 billion in 1976. Okay, so the export-driven strategic national policy has been very important to drive Korean electronic industry, to upgrade our Korean electronic industry. Okay, this graph shows you how fast Korean electronic export went. Okay, from in 1964 we have $100 million. In 2008 we already have $40 billion, 4 billion, 40 billion. No, 400. It is $400 billion. Yeah, 400 billion. So the export increased exponentially, very fast. Okay. Okay. This page shows what we did after we export our electronic product. Okay. Now we are going into system development. We didn't remain at the product level. We went into system development. What is a system technology? TV, telephone set, radio was the product technology. White appliances, those were product technology. But we tried to develop system technology, which was electronic switching system and the telecommunication network, CDMA network, for fourth generation of mobile network, which was called WiMAX. And those technologies were developed in Korea. Okay, for this effort, in 1976, Korea International Trade Association issued a report. That report was titled as Long-Term Outlook of Korea's Electronic Industry. Okay? This report contains the strategic roadmap for the electronics in Korea. And the 24 items were suggested in the report. Those were color TV, video cassette recorder, private branch exchange, and computer and peripheral devices. Okay, so what this report is our technology from product level to system level and information technology and telecommunication technology. Okay. So in 1970s, there was a lot of successful event. And the first color TV was produced in 1974, and that was exported by very well. And there were very efficient Korean companies who produced white appliances like color TV and cleaning machine, those kind of white appliances. And also Korean National, Samsung Electronics, and LG Electronics. Those companies had been very successful in producing a good home appliances. And as I told you, national attention shifted to the development of electronic switching system. Okay, so So, from the development electronic switching system, the Korean ICT industry is trying to jump another new higher level of system product or system technology or system engineering. In those days, the Blue House is the house which Korean president is living. Okay, what do you call here in Moldova? President house. Huh? Yeah, this is Korean President House, Blue House. It is called Blue House because the roof is all blue, painted blue. So they issued a very strategic report called Long-Term Plan to Invigorate the Electronics Sector. That was 1981. Okay, this shows a strategic roadmap to upgrade our ICT industry. So this planning, this strategic plan has been very important and did an essential role in developing our ICT industry. Okay, it was beginning of 1980s. Okay, we decided four important things. The first one, electronic switching system, that is called TDX. Okay, that was completely 100% Korean technology electronic system. And that time it was Korea was the fifth nation who developed electronic switching system. Okay. As such, the electronic system was a very high level system technology, but Korea, it involved a lot of dangerous decision making. But anyway, Korea has been very successful in developing this technology. This electronic system technology, once we succeeded, we are successful in developing this technology, Korea IC industry jumped another new level, high level. Okay, and the second one was semiconductor. You all know what the semiconductor is. The largest producer. Who is the largest producer? Samsung. Samsung is the largest producer in semiconductor. And who's the second? So Hynix, another Korean company, is the second largest producer of semiconductor. That way, that semiconductor was the second strategic decision making by Korean government. And another one is color TV and color TV network and color TV equipment. Okay, and fourth one, this is not a technology but national industrial policy, the privatization of KTA, Korea Telecom. Okay, Korea in those days, Korea Telecom was part of our government. But Korean government decided to privatize Korea Telecom in order to invigorate the telecommunication sector in Korea. Okay, those four strategic decisions has been exercised a lot of important role in developing our economy. As you see, this graph shows you how fast Korean economy grow after we decided this. This strategic decision making. This graph shows the gross national income. Okay, So we grew very fast in 1980s, and we made a very strategy. It was dangerous, but it's kind of bold decision making. But anyway, we were very successful in developing those kind of technology, and Korean economy was catching up and to the advanced catching up with the advanced level technology or engineering. Okay, the electronics industry has been transformed from product to system technology. That was in 1980s. Let me list some event for some event of the transformation. The first one, color TV broadcasting. Okay, it was in 1980s. Okay, so we started broadcast and develop our own color TV broadcasting network. That was launched in 1980s. Okay. Based on this policy, we started to export the color TV and VCR and all kind of peripheral devices, which handles with the contents, movie and K-pop, whatever. Okay, so after we develop our own color TV and color TV network, the content industry and videotape market grew very fast. Okay, so in 1980s, Korean ICT industry shaped into its own. Okay, so in 1980s, the Korean ICT industry shapes into its own, as you see, Korea, as you see now, as you understand now about Korean industry. Okay, and though this, what we did was that the Korean Electric and Telecommunication Corporation, currently Korea Telecom, was established. As I told you, this is a privatization event. Okay, and Korea Data Telecommunication was established in 1982. Okay, in 1982, almost the most business, dominant business for the telecommunication was the telephone. But Korean government saw the future of the telecommunication would be data communication. So we established 1982 Korea Data Telecommunication. Okay, it was very advanced decision making prior to other countries. And actually succeeded in the development of the electronic switching system, TDX1. That was the first electronic switching system in 1984. And Samsung Electronics developed 8-bit PC, that was in 1982. And electronic industry began to expand its capacity to incorporate the production of semiconductor and mobile telecommunication. Okay, so now we move into 1990s. 1990s, what we did was we developed TDX10. That was the second version of our electronic switching system. This has the larger capacity and all 100% electronic switching system. This TDX10, many people are talking this one as a pioneer of Korea electronic industry. Okay. As I told you, in 1950 we developed the radio. That was the product. Now when it comes to electronic industry, ICT industry, we are talking about system technology, platform. Okay. So in that sense, TDX10, many people are talking this one as a pioneer of Korea telecommunication R&D or technology in Korea. Okay? This technology, this development resulted in a import substitution effect worth about US $300 million every year in those days. Okay? After we developed the TDX10, there was another very important event which was called KCS1. This is the first prototype of the CDMA system. You know the CDMA, what the CDMA is? You all know what the CDMA is.
In Moldova,
I discussed you're using GSM here?
yes, only GSM.
Only in
Moldova.
first
Yeah,
Maybe in the
I discussed this
telecom.
one about, during my lecture last semester. When European developed the GSM, we developed the CDMA. Okay. So GSM, CDMA divide the whole global market into two parts. GSM was the larger one. CDMA was smaller, but by developing CDMA global network, that gave us independent technological ability or capacity to develop a system, network technology. That was very important one. So we were successful in developing the prototype of CDMA, and after that, we developed the world first CDMA digital mobile phone service, the system and services in 1996. That was the first commercial CDMA network in the world. Okay. We didn't develop this technology on our own. We cooperate with a US company, Qualcomm. Okay. So actually, who developed the TDX10 electronic switching system, they actually cooperated with the US company, Qualcomm, to develop the CDMA system, and Korea became the first country to develop CDMA digital mobile phone services in the world. Okay, as I told you, TDXA is known as a pioneer of electronic technology in Korea. Let me talk more about the TDX. The TDX is a digital switching system. Before this, there was an analog switching system, but when you go into 1970s, 80s, advanced countries like US, Japan, and other European countries, they are all in a rush to develop a digital switching system. Okay, in those areas, Korea joined them to develop digital switching system called TDX. So TDX was Korea was the fifth country to develop the digital switching system. Okay, it was product of 14 years of R&D. We started in 1977. The R&D was being done through 1991. 14 years of R&D product. That was the biggest R&D product a project in Korea. We spent a lot of money, and it was backed by government. Okay. And when we formed a project, R&D project, when we developed this project, we formed a special entity, special body, which is called private-public partnership. Okay. And entry was among there, and private companies, Samsung, LG, and they all joined to develop this TDX technology. So that once it was successful, it was developed, those technology disseminated throughout, Korean business, local business world. So Korean companies, Samsung, LG, electronics Korean company, their technology upgrade, those companies upgrade their technology through this project, and those projects is as a form of private-public partnership. Okay, private-public partnership is very, very important strategy to develop a national level project technology, I guess. Okay, this the inauguration ceremony for the TDX-10. That was 1990s. And these were three very important persons. This guy, his name is Oh Myung, and he was the Minister of Telecommunication. And he's Yang Seung-taek. He's the president of research institute called ETRI. And this guy is So Jung-ho, and he was the leader of the project team. Okay, these three guys, they contribute a lot in developing the TDX electronic switching system. Okay, next big event was the CDMA system. Okay, the CDMA system we developed in Korea was the first CDMA mobile network. And this technology was the convergence, combination of TDMX and CDMA. As I told you, TDX technology was developed by Korean Research Institute, and CDMA technology came from the United States company Qualcomm. Okay, Qualcomm provides CDMA technology, and Korean Research Institute actually provide electronic switching system. So both entities, they developed a CDMA mobile network jointly. Okay, so it was actually Qualcomm joint development, and the private companies, like I said, Samsung, LG Electronics, those companies participated in this project, and they earned their technology. Once it is developed, their technology upgraded. Okay, this is the inauguration ceremony. The Prime Minister Lee inaugurates. This guy is Prime Minister Lee. He inaugurates the CDMA mobile system. That was 1996, 1st of April. Okay, this graph shows how the technology divide the world market. Okay, CDMA got 24%, GSM got about 76%. Okay. In those GSM was who developed GSM? GSM developed by European countries, and CDMA developed by Korean
and USA.
CDM, the technology, CDM, mobile access technology was developed by Qualcomm, but I'm talking about the whole technology, system technology, was developed by Korean and United States company, and we launched the first system CDMA mobile system technology in Korea, first in the world, and those technology got a 24% of the whole market, global market. 20% of the global market is still very large, and so the Korean at this level, Korean company has a kind of self-satisfied or whatever. Korean companies are recognize itself as we have a very good technology. We have a high tech. We can compete with a global company like Motorola and the United States, Ericsson or Nokia. Okay, this event, this CDMA technology development played a very, very important role in electronic ICT industry development in Korea. Okay, next, what we did, we developed Wibro. That was the first 4G mobile system, Wibro system. There are several tracks in developing. There were several tracks in developing the mobile technology. The first, in this graph, the first one, CDMA, EVD, or UMB. The second one, GSM, WCDMA, LT. The third one, Wibro and Wibro evolution. And the third one was developed in Korea. Okay? Unfortunately, this technology is history, is no more in the market because we were not successful in getting the market. But technology itself was developed by Korea. This technology is now known as a WiMAX. Okay, so WiMAX is still there in the United States. Okay, we had a very good relationship with when we developed the Wibro and the Korean, American company, US company. They developed the WiMAX. Virtually, WiMAX is same as the Wibro technology. Same at the 90%, more than 90% of the technology was the same. Okay, but unfortunately, this technology died because we couldn't find. No wonder, because Korea is a small company. Even if we have a good technology, even if we have been successful in producing the world #1 technology, the market development is more difficult than the developing the technology. We understood from this event. Okay. Anyway, when it comes to the 4G mobile technology, the dominant technology nowadays is LTE. Okay, LTE is originated from GSM. It became WCDMA, and now we have LTE. So LTE has the origination at GSM technology. Okay. Anyway, we developed Wibro, but this effort was not very successful. It was successful in developing technology, but it was not successful in developing market, global market. Okay, this shows what we did to expand our Wibro technology throughout the globe market but it wasn't not very successful, as I told you. Okay. When it comes to the ICT development in Korea, we do not ignore the private sector effort. Samsung Electronics and LG Electronics. Those two companies played very, very important role in Korea. Samsung Electronics is the world leader in mobile handset business. It became the world leader in mobile handset business in the already in the early 1990s. That time, the brand was Anycor. Okay. Now it is selling what is Galaxy. Galaxy. But before they launched the brand Anycor, the feature phone, it was very successful, and Samsung Electronics became the world leader in mobile handset manufacturing. And Samsung developed world first 64 megabyte DRAM in 1992, and now is a global leader in DRAM semiconductor market. It holds about 1/3 of total global market. Okay. And LG Electronics also played an important role as a global player. LG was the first company in radio development and first company developed the TV development. And in parallel with the Samsung's effort, LG Electronics is now a global leader in white appliance business. LG Electronics is selling most TV set, selling most refrigerator, selling most air conditioning. So when it comes to the white appliances, LG Electronics is the world leading company. So private sector effort has been exercised much inevitable, and after all, in developing Korean electronics. That is the first 64 mega DRAM, and this was the world famous brand Anycor, which was developed by Samsung. Okay. Okay. I've been discussing about the technology, national R&D product. Now I like to talk about the industry. Okay. When it comes to the industry, the competition policy by the Korean government is very important. As I told you, we had a privatization policy. In parallel, we did have a competition policy. Okay, those two policies has been very important in developing Korean ICT industry as the world leading industry. And let me give you some example about the mobile industry. The Korean Mobile Telecom was established in 1984. It was a dominant monopoly company in 1984. But in 1990, Korean government introduced a competition in mobile industry. And in 1997, Korean government introduced more companies into the mobile industry. So there was more PCS, more CT2, more paging service company, more wireless data company. Now we are living in 2000, in the year of 2000. Now we have three major companies in Korea. SKT, KT, LG Plus. Okay, they're competing to each other as fierce. So in Korea, there is a fierce competition between three companies. So now we have three major, very competitive companies in Korean market. So competition policy has been very important, and Korean government did not hesitate in introducing the competition into the Korean market, and that was very successful, and that triggers a Korean company become very competitive in the global world. Okay, so now beginning of the 2000, the broadband internet, Korea. So as I told you, Korea government, we put much effort on the expanding our infrastructure. Entering into the 21st century, the infrastructure, the nature infrastructure became from a telephone to internet. So Korea government put much money in, and Korean industry has been exercised a lot of effort in developing broadband industry. So in terms of the broadband industry, Korea was the first company to expand this broadband internet, and beginning of 2000, Korea already was the #1 ranked in the world as showing as the highest penetration rate in terms of the broadband internet. Okay, let me sum up what it did. This graph shows you how Korea ICT market is competitive in the global market. DRAM product, DRAM is #1, became #1 product in the global market in 1998. The memory device became #1 in 2001. CDMA handset became #1 in 2001. Mobile handset became #2 in 2008. Now we are living in the year of a smartphone. The Samsung is the #1 company in the world. Samsung is selling the most smartphone in the world. And display TV, that was a Korean company. Korean sells #1 display digital TV from the 2005. 4G LTE smartphone and tablet is #2 in 2011. Okay, so Korean industry and Korea has been very competitive from the beginning of 2000. That was current status of Korean ICT industry. Okay, and Korea ICT position in the world. In terms of the ICT Development Index, that was surveyed by ITU, International Telecommunication Union. In terms of the ICT Development Index, Korea was ranked #1 among 159 countries. And in terms of the e-government readiness index, that was surveyed by United Nations, Korea ranked #1 among 192 countries. Okay, and that as such, Korea ICT industry and Korea ICT position is ranked very high in the world. Okay. What is the success factor? There are many success factors, but I'm listing 5 success factors in developing ICT Korea, very competitive in the world arena. The first one, national consensus on ICT development, and engineers. They put a lot of effort on the ICT development, and we promoted engineering skill, engineering technology, and what is more, from the president to the engineers, there was kind of national consensus that the ICT industry was the future of Korea. Okay, we've got to develop ICT industry, and ICT industry would become a future of Korea. Those kind of consensus was built up in Korea. Okay, secondly, I listed the strong volition of the government from the president to the working level government officer. The government exercised a very strong leadership and showed a strong volition to lead the ICT industry, and they did a lot of effort. They worked very hard to promote ICT R&D technology and engineering. Okay, so Korea got independent in terms of the technology and engineering. That has been the very, very essential basis for us to develop our ICT industry. Okay, thirdly, the collaboration between government, ICT institute, industry, universities. Okay, government has a leadership. R&D institution, they provide world-level, high-level technology. Industry, they participated into the national project, R&D project in developing TDX, electronic switching system, in developing CDMA system, in developing Vibro, in developing semiconductor, whatever. Industry participated in the national level, national level R&D project, and universities, they produced a very smart students, and they supplied smart labors. Okay, and the fourth, strategy of selection and concentration. So we cannot do all things. Korea is still a small country, so we have a strategy of selection and concentration. We have a limited number of people, limited number of money, limited number of resource, and we did have a very low level of technology. Okay, in 1970s, 80s, Korea technology was very low level, but we found a target sector, okay, telecommunication, semiconductor. As such, we exercised a strategy of selection and concentration. Okay, that was another very good policy. And fifth is the operation of ICT Promotion Fund since 1993. Okay, to develop a ICT industry, you need money. Okay, so you have to have money from whatever source. I don't know. But in Korea, we promote the ICT Promotion Fund. So using this promotion, by operating this ICT Promotion Fund, we could support a lot of national level R&D project. Okay, the money is always important. Okay, this sums up the combination between the high level and ICT development. This shows you the roles of science and technology initiative policy in Korea development. A little bit of high level development. The first column, first row shows you the stepwise development. In 1960s, we have export-oriented policy. Okay, we sold everything what we could in the global market. Even we sold a woman's hair, woman's artificial in the United States. We sold what? We sold. In 1960s, we sent our woman, the nurse, most nurses are women. Female nurse exported our human resource to West Germany, and the Korean nurses went to Germany to become. They take care of the German patients there, and the men went to Germany to become a miner. They went down to the mining. Okay, some people were died during digging out the coal or whatever. Anyway, in 1960s, when we were poor, we tried to export whatever product we could. In 1970s, it became export-led policy. In 1960s, economics is liberalized. So from 1980s, the private sector company took leadership. Okay, that means before 1980s. That means during the 1960s, 1970s, the government led the most policy, and government led the development of Korean economy. But from 80, private sector private company like Samsung, Hyundai, LG, and those companies took leadership in developing Korean company. And 1990s. Democratization, the Korean politics was democratized. Before this democratization, the military ran the Korean. The Korean government was military people took the power in Korean government. But in 1990s, the Korean government was democratized. So civil personnel became the president, and the civil sector is leading Korean politics. Okay, as such, there is stepwise development policy or stepwise development environment. Okay, in the beginning, government led the development, and after that, private sector company lead the development. And in terms of the politics, from the beginning, the military took the power, and later civil sector took the power. As such, I think there has been a stepwise development. So, and according to each step, we did have an industry development policy which fits to those political environment or economic environment. You know, in this paragraph, here we have ICT industry here. You know, from the 1990s, when the Korean society was very much democratized and the Korean politics was civilized, the ICT industry became a leading industry in Korea. So ICT industry, without ICT, Korea economy collapsing. So economic value, I think almost quite a significant portion of Korean economy is Korean economic value, added value, comes from ICT industry. And in 1990s, this ICT industry took leadership, and from the beginning of 2000, the ICT industry has been diversified. That means we had a variety of product which takes the world market, the semiconductor, and what is smart feature phone and white appliances, and so on. So the product has been very diversified, and from the nowadays we are trying to lead another level of industry after the ICT. That could be a fusion technology, like ICT plus manufacturing, or ICT plus biology, or ICT plus green technology, or whatever. So now we are trying to develop another level of industry using the capacity of ICT. Okay, that will define the future of Korea. Okay, and furthermore, it shows you a very interesting competitive factor. Furthermore, in 1960s, the competitive factor in Korea was cheap labor. The labor was very cheap. Okay. I told you that in those days the per capita income was $70 a year. In 1960s, we produced a skilled labor. That means skilled manufacturing labor. That was not high level. In 1980s, the competitive factor became capital investment. From the 1980s, we put a lot of money into a heavy industry, like automobile industry, and steel mill industry, and semiconductor industry. We put a lot of money. And in 1990s, Korea technology could be is catching up with the advanced level with other advanced countries. Okay? And from the 2000s, the science technology in Korea has to be very innovative. Okay, from 2000 we were producing number one technologies in the world. As I told you, the Vibro technology and number one product. They produced quite number of number one selling product in the world. And now we define the competitive power. Korea, the competitive power. In the future, should be advanced science technology, very innovative. very innovative science and technology. As I told you, the combination of ICT and biology and nanotechnology, those kind of advanced sector is being developed by government, and a lot of effort and a lot of research are focusing in those innovative areas. Okay, so in the bottom line, there has been paradigm change in developing Korean economy. In the beginning, we just copied, imitated. We produced radio, and those days we got the technology from the Japan and United States, the imitation, and the next level we catch up with the advanced countries. So we try to develop our own electronic switching systems, and we need a innovative technology to promote our technology to be very competitive in the global level. Okay, so in this way, the paradigm changes step by step. Okay, this pages give you a broad idea how Korea's science and technology initiative policy exercised in very critical role in developing Korean economy. Very interesting pages. Okay, that's it. The rest one explains the national informatization policies, but I don't have enough time. I should stop here. I already eat up the times which are allocated to me today. Thank you very much for your listening.
O secundă.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. It's our pleasure to have you here. And thank you for very interesting courses. Everybody enjoyed, and it was something very specific, very different, and very interesting, basically, and in the same time very applicative. And
Thank
it
you
was
very
our
much.
pleasure to have you as a professor in our university.
Thank you for you giving me an opportunity to lecture with such a smart people.
Thank you. Did you meet Irina inside or go in
Who?
Irina, unde ești? Ardiște în picioare?
You coming to Korea?
Igor, tu ai scris
Da,
materialul meu?
este. Professor, we are proposing that
Everybody receive the certificate and I will nominate and
you
will
will
give some. Astăzi, în prezența domnului profesor, avem deosebită plăcere să vă apreciem cu certificate de participare și nu doar de participare, dar cu susținere eficientă și foarte productivă a cursului. Eu sper că dumneavoastră ați avut oportunitatea să ascultați un profesor dintr-o universitate străină. Universitatea noastră este deschisă pentru o colaborare internațională și anume acesta este unul dintre obiectivele pe care noi ne le propunem, ca dumneavoastră să ascultați alte voci, să vedeți alte tehnologii de predare, să vă familiarizați cu modul de a învăța în străinătate și să știți că chiar trăind și activând aici în Republica Moldova, dumneavoastră sunteți cei care aveți acces la toate cursurile care vi le doriți și la diverse universități, concomitent putând accepta diferite cursuri. Noi, în afară de acest curs online, mai există și cursuri libere pe internet la Coreea, la toate specialitățile, fiecare universitate care se respectă și are un potențial intelectual și științific performant, amplasează cursurile pe site, așa că dumneavoastră deja ați trecut prima etapă și veți urma și toate celelalte. Și acum vreau să citesc. Mariana Roșca, care a finalizat cu succes aceste cursuri. Este? Aici nu este. Maxim Ciurchină, care este... Da. Da.
Professor, please, you can then.
Maxim Ciurchină is my PhD student.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Great.
Thank you very much.
he's biochemist. Dimitri Bilan. Nu este. Irina Gânsari. Irina is a PhD student in chemistry and she will go in...
So, you're coming to Korea. Great. Yeah?
Respect.
Ludmila Dejenaru. Nu este. Igor Cojocaru. Igor Cojocaru is the director of Institute.
You are still...
I say that I visited Korea last year.
Natalia Caraman. Natalia, tu ce ești? Dai, doctor, ai PhD student in zoology.
Thank you for your course. It was very interesting.
Thank you very much. I hope
Nicolae Magariu. Alina Beșliu. Sabina Sprânceană. Irina Cojocan. Nico Servaciuc. Servaciuc. Maria Popovici. Doina Țurcan. Maria Popovici. Doina Țurcan. Natalia Salamandic. Nu este Natalia? A, este și Natalia. Rodica Martea. Virgiliu Mobilă și Valentin Virtuleac. Valentin Virtuleac. Este? Nu. Ok, thank you very much. Ați finalizat?
Da.
Spune, Igor, două cuvinte.
On behalf of students and technical staff which assisted the courses we had going on, we would like to thank you once more and hope that we will continue as not only as a first try experiment of this course, but we will continue every course and we will establish good, durable relation between Inha and the University of the Academy. And now I propose we make a group photo, if you would like, with the students.
Da.
Poate o fotografie din grup să facem toți. V-ați mai